Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, back again for my absolutely lovely, really lovely, honestly, post-market wrap-up for today, Friday, August 31st, 2018. Before I even say a word, I am going to be doing my Markets a Look Ahead segment on Sunday, not tomorrow. Well, why would Greg be doing that? These markets are closed on Monday, and I am very happy about that. I could really use a day off, honestly. Okay, so don't forget, no Markets a Look Ahead tomorrow. It will be Sunday, more than likely. If you have subscribed to this video blog series, you will get a reminder. If you haven't, do subscribe. Anyway, so let's talk about what happened today in these markets and what we can take away from it, because there's a big tell here, and a big tell. So what did the stocks do today? Not much. S&P 500 positive, NASDAQ positive, Dow negative, whatever. The dollar was the story of the day, no doubt about it. Actually, the story of the week, no doubt about it. And the movement of cash today into the bond market is another tell that I explained to you yesterday. Let's cover that, because this is something, again, that we need to pay attention to. And it's reflecting something that they're trying to gloss over. Whenever the COD over there tries to just gloss over things, or there's some type of a media blackout, which there is right now, there's no doubt about it. Have you heard much about what's going on specifically over with this escalating currency crisis? You probably haven't heard too much about it, but the dollar is responding to it, and that's big. Again, the dollar, in my opinion, right here, is a warning sign. It's a warning sign that, hey, you know what? This emerging market issue with a currency meltdown is bigger than they want you to know, and you're getting the knee-jerk. It's always the freaking same. Knee-jerk into the dollar, knee-jerk into our bond market, because our debt, is just the safest thing to hold, even though it's just the most asinine thing on the face of the earth. It's the truth. But this is what the market knows. It's a reflex. That's it. So we understand that, but it's reflecting something. So I believe we are going to continue to see dollar strength here. Unfortunately, even though there really is no correlation anymore, and any excuse to punish gold and silver is going to be used, we are going to see gold and silver fall under pressure here until the illusion isn't so real anymore. You understand? Every effort is being made to prop up not just our markets. Look, this is a global phenomenon. All the world's developed economies, we're all in the same boat. It's the same situation. This is something that I want us all to pay attention to. It's just so important. And I touched on this. Right now, world leaders, all of them, are doing the same thing. They're all having their central banks buy everything in sight, print cash out of thin air, and all this is doing is making world central banks stronger. Why? Because their product is debt. It's their only product. Let's see. Let me put an analogy on this. Let's say you were in the business of making personal lubricants, okay? So you're the CEO of company XYZ, making personal lubricants. All of a sudden, there's a worldwide, frenzy where people are becoming like hypersexual. Your product, a personal lubricant, is going to be in a lot of demand, and you, by being able to disperse this, you're going to become very strong, very wealthy, very powerful. You understand? This is what's happening here with world central banks. All of them. Our Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, you name a central bank. First of all, we all understand. These central banks are run by the same individuals. The same banks run the central banks. And all they want to do is issue more debt in greater and greater and greater amounts. Why? Because their product is debt. So they get stronger. This is why when I hear it's seriously laughable. Oh, sit down for this one if you're going to be offended, because I'm going to say something about President Trump here. President Trump is going to take down the Federal Reserve. That's what he's going to do. That's his the plan. Well, if that's his plan, that's every single world leader's plan. They're all working together. And what they're all doing is making their central banks stronger by allowing our central banks, these central banks, to disperse their product, which is debt, not personal lubricants. You got it? Yeah, exactly. So, look, a couple of other things are in play here. And I'm going to cover some of this on Sunday when I do my markets a look ahead. But this issue, it's a crisis now of currency, and we can only imagine what extreme measures are going to be used to prop this up. Again, what's the fear? The fear is a contagion. The currency is, I'm going to say it, it's dog shit, all of it. So, with that said, there's going to be an incredible effort to spew more dog shit all over the world. That's the truth. And how that comes in the form of bailouts from the people or backdoor bailouts between central banks, because that's been going on for quite a long time. Under the table, stuff that we have no idea about is still going on. And now with regard to the currency issues, let me say this too. I don't want to get too involved or too deep into this. The currency issue over there, you have to understand, currencies are, again, a financial instrument that, this is probably the Federal Reserve. Oh, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear any of this. That is insured. It's insured and guaranteed by you through mechanisms of credit default swaps. And why is it you? Well, if you remember, if we want to use history as an example, the Wall Street bailouts, that was all brought about by credit default swaps, collateralized debt obligations, and they couldn't pay. AIG, remember all that? They couldn't pay. You paid. You got it? So that's just the way it is, and get used to it. I know it sucks, but it's the truth. So anyway, that's the whole situation here, people. Understand, it's just so simple. When you really look at what's happening here, and you have an understanding of how things actually work, other than making you probably feel kind of powerless, because we really have a very limited amount of power as to what we can do, especially in this environment, where every single day that our government leaders, our presidents, whoever's running the show over here, allows their central bank to continue running amok, printing, buying, doing whatever they got to do, the central banks get more powerful. The only way to stop it would be to literally control spending. If we were able to somehow, and it's not going to happen under any world leader right now, including our illustrious president, we would have balanced the budget in some kind of a way, restrain our spending, say, you know what, this is just madness. We would take away the central bank's power. Their power exists in one thing, their ability to issue debt. That's it. And every world leader right now is playing into it. And what is this going to lead to? A consolidation of power between the world's central banks. It's like something from a science fiction novel, but it's real. And it's happening all around us, and there are so many people. The useful idiots. I said it, useful idiots. The useful idiots who just don't get it. And they are existing in an alternative universe. And that's okay. We do need some people to exist in that alternative universe for whatever reason. With that said, we're going to cover some cool things coming up on Sunday with my markets a look ahead. So, with that said, people, People, you know what I'm going to tell you right now. Love each other, care about each other, and be charitable. It's so important. We really need to understand we're in this together. If you're part of my team, and there are tens of thousands of you all over the world, it's got to start with someone, and it might as well start with us. Let's embrace that. It's truly an amazing thing, and we can start our own revolution no matter what, and no matter how this whole thing unfolds. I will see you Sunday. We're going to have all kinds of fun. Absolutely lovely.